Hello my friends from All for Shooters, Franco here. Let's take a look at the dry fire reset trigger from Laser Ammo. It replaces the standard trigger in any Glock pistol. It allows the trigger to be reset automatically every time you pull the trigger without having to pull back on the slide. The dry fire reset trigger allows for a much more realistic training scenario using the Laser Ammo system. Let's start with our Glock in a field strip condition. To install the dry fire reset trigger, we need to remove all of the components using our Glock universal tool. We'll start with the rear pin and then we'll continue with the trigger pin. Depending on the generation of our Glock, we may have one or two pins. In our case, there is only a single pin. Now we remove the locking piece and the whole trigger package comes out of the frame in a single part. Let's put it aside. We now need to disassemble the striker assembly from the slide. Pulling back on the firing pin spacer sleeve, we can remove the rear plate. Let's pull out the striker assembly, then the extractor, plunger and spring. Now it's the time of the firing pin safety and spring. This also holds the extractor in place, so once this is removed, also the extractor will come out. Let's store safely these parts for future use. The dry fire reset trigger drops in as any standard trigger for the Glock. We basically proceed in reverse, reassembling the locking piece in the frame. Then we install the locking piece pin and the trigger housing pin, the one that goes in the back. That completes the configuration of the frame. Let's now install the proprietary striker assembly inside the slide of our Glock. Due to the nature of the Laser Ammo cartridge, we will not need the extractor. We just insert the striker assembly in the slide, and you'll notice that the spacer sleeve is longer than normal. And this is because it will have to house an additional spring that is needed to allow the auto resetting feature to work correctly. Let's install now the rear plate of our Glock. Of course, let's take care not to lose the very small spring or to pinch it while we install the rear plate on the slide. The dry fire reset trigger firing pin is much different than a standard part. You can see that the firing pin lug is in a different position. Now let's put back the barrel and the recoil spring and guide. We now just simply reassemble the gun with the slide on the frame, and that's about it because the trigger is immediately functional. We can test it. It automatically resets. After this functional check, we can say that the gun is ready for the installation of the SureStrike cartridge from Laser Ammo. The cartridge is much longer than a standard cartridge, so it must be hand-fed inside the barrel of the gun. After our usual safety check, we need to open the slide, and we'll keep it open with our hand because there is no hold open. And we carefully slide the round in the chamber. We don't slam the slide, but we carefully close it. Remember, the Laser Ammo round has precision optics inside. With the round properly seated, a functional check, and everything seems to work perfectly. And now, let's have fun with the Laser Ammo training system. Please continue following us on allforshooters.com.